So Ludicolo is one of the most interesting buffs this season. This Pokemon got access to 2 new moves. It's gonna get access to Weather Ball, Water, as well as Astonish, which makes it a very strong Pokemon in the Open Great League currently. And so let's dive in. Let's take a look at a team here that I was already talking about previously that I think is going to be amazing with the Ludicolo. Ludicolo is going to be our Say-Sub in this team. It's going to be the Wigglytuff in the lead, which is going to be able to counter most of the Ghost-type Pokemon. Ludicolo as our Say-Sub and the Jellicent in the back. This team actually works out super perfectly together. We also have the lead basically to counter those Dark-type Pokemon, which is kind of important. And Ludicolo as our Say-Sub can be quite nice as well, as we see here as well already with the Leaf Storm landing. What we are going to be able to do now is we're going to be able to align ourselves. The Seed Round comes through, and in comes now the next opponent's Pokemon, which is going to be, let's find out, it's going to be the Malamar. I am debuffed, so I'm barely gonna do damage with this move, but I have alignment now. I have the Malamar against our Wigglytuff, and I have the Jellicent against the opponent's Celio. And so, while our matchup generally wasn't too great in the beginning, now we are actually facing a perfect matchup. We completely hardwall them because we were able to align ourselves kinda with our Ludicolo, which usually would have, not really happened if it doesn't have the moveset change. The thing is here, there's one thing that I kind of regret that I didn't do, and I will talk about it in this video now as well. So, what did I want to do different, basically, now in hindsight? I actually would want to change the moveset of Ludicolo. I do think that Leaf Storm is actually not ideal on this Pokemon. And you might think, it's going to be Energy Ball. Is it going to be Scald? I think this Pokemon, as far as I know, learns Ice Beam. And Ice Beam would be absolutely fantastic, I think, on this Pokemon for coverage. Here's why. Basically, there were multiple times, like here, of course, we're in a perfect position, like we're going to be always able to win this matchup against the opponent's Marowak. But basically, Ludicolo ended up sometimes in some positions against Dragon-type Pokemon. And you don't have any play against them. And yes, Ludicolo is one of the Pokemon, by the way, that has the most amount of charge moves possible. You have Weather Ball Water, you have Leaf Storm, you have Hydro Pump, you have Blizzard, you have Solar Beam, you have Ice Beam, you have Energy Ball, you have Scald. You have a ton of charge moves for this, so it's a bit difficult to really roll the right ones for it. But I do think that actually Ice Beam on this team could have some potential as well. Because, while yes, you're not going to have the Grass type coverage, which is kind of cool in the current meta against Pokemon, for example, like Azumarill here. Most of the times you're going to use it as a Say-Sub anyway, so like against Pokemon like Azumarill, they would swap out them. Like they would not going to go into this matchup. You're not going to be able to really hit a Leaf Storm there. And so I do think that Ice Beam honestly would have quite a bit of play here for this Pokemon, because again, what you're going to bait out with Water and Grass type Pokemon are all of those Dragon types, which I didn't really consider previously, and I do think it's mostly just better to have Ice Beam there in order to cover up this weakness as well, which makes Ludicolo even a stronger Say-Sub. That being said, this team also worked out super well like this, and we see already with the first 2 battles against actually some good tryhard opponents, we're going to be able to win this battle. But we are going to face a pretty devastating lead loss here. We're going to swap out into our Ludicolo, and we're actually going to be able to outspeed them to the Weather Ball, which is kind of fun. The opponent stays in here for a bit too long. But I know the opponent as well. I know that they're a very strong player. I think they even got 2nd place in a recent regional, so like they're a very good player. We have the Rock Tomb coming through, and they're going to swap out into their Go-Goat. Again, if I had Ice Beam, I would have been able to hit them here for super effective damage, which would have been absolutely amazing. Like this, I hit them for resisted Leaf Storm damage, which is just not hitting the same way, is it? And now we are going to be a bit more of a difficult position here, because we can have to farm them down with a Wigglytuff, but also can have to win this battle with our Jellicent. And in order to do that, we can't really have to hope and pray that we are going to be in a position here now where we can get the farm down done with a Jellicent and get a bit of extra energy, but we have to hope there's something in the back we can deal with. It's going to be Sableye. That is generally bad, because of course I have House of Pressure, but also I guess it is quite predictable that I'm going to go for 1 and then a charge move. I should have went for the Surf, but I kind of risked it, and I went for the wrong move here at the end of the day. I should have just went for the Surf. I'm not too sure if it would have changed something. I would have knocked them out here. I would have maybe got to some more Surfs afterwards as well. I am not too sure. Maybe I would have been able to still win the battle if I went for the Surf, which I was thinking about, but I didn't go for it, so that was my bad. Good game to the opponent though. You know what's frustrating? Frustrating is when you shield a move, they would be double resisted, even though it doesn't make any sense for them to throw this move. Like, in what kind of universe do you want to throw a Shadow Ball against a Wigglytuff? To be fair, the opponent was then realizing their mistake afterwards, so they are only going to go for body slams now from this point on. But I wish, of course, now in hindsight, they didn't shield up a double resisted hit. But yeah, we're going to see here the Icy Ring coming through against the opponent. It is going to be up against the Golden Lizard, which is not ideal. But we're actually going to have a Pokemon here that resists everything in the Jellicent. And what you will see here, me doing as well, is I am going to go for the bait. Not really hoping even that they would shield here. I don't really want them to shield. I want to get the full farm down done. This is exactly what I want to do here, because I know that they have like still the Primeape. And I make a mistake that I didn't want to do here. I really didn't want to do it because I knew on how to play this matchup in order to win. But I somehow still mess it up. And I want to see where, because here I need to just go for the Surf Trading to get the shield. I actually press on the Surf. This is, okay, that's the nonsense. It's not my fault actually. I want to go for the Surf straight away there. The Jellicent goes for an extra fast move. That is not my fault, but this actually changes the matchup. And here I want to swap out into the Wigglytuff. I misclicked this one. That was my fault. That I should have swapped out one fast move earlier. But yeah, this was not my mistake there. I wanted to go for the Surf. I clicked on the Surf and the game went for an extra fast move. There's something that I have to say as well. I had a ton of lag yesterday evening. A ton of lag with the change of the season. Like literally like crazy amounts. And this is mainly actually visible in the video after this one. Most likely I have a different team that I applied where I had even more lag than with this team. And it was quite impactful. I was never to the point where I was losing turns though, I think. I guess like 1 or 2 times I lost some turns. But it was just basically that both had like speed up lag. And that is, yeah, was on both sides. It was not really mine. But here, for example, I should have got a free fast move in. I didn't get the fast move in. This can be actually quite impactful. Like this is not ideal. And actually we see here the lag as well. We see here the lag quite, yeah, visibly as well. Like we have a lot of lag against the opponent's Electrode. We see it here now as well again. Like, yes, actually everything kind of worked well. But the animations just didn't really work out at all. And it's not like me talking nonsense there. This game is just completely broken right now for me. And I'm still trying my best here to win this battle. But we're already kind of off to a bad start. I'm late into swapping here. It still didn't matter, luckily. But I was quite late into swapping, even though I want to swap straight away. I can still get my move off here against the opponent's Electrode. But yeah, again, we are not in a position where it's absolutely ideal. The Credilli comes in next. They are going to be able to farm me down. And I have to take the move onto my Ludicolo, let the move go, I think. And I'm just going to hope that my Jellicent can win this battle here. It's going to be a Azumarill in the back, and to be fair, Azumarill is going to be a very good matchup for us. So we have neutral damage against the opponent, we have the better fast and charge move, and while they have the better stats compared to us, it shouldn't really matter. Because at this point, 2 Shadow Balls should be enough to knock them out. As you can see as well, another Shadow Ball is going to connect against the opponent. This is going to be doing a solid amount of damage, and then again we have a ton of lag. Yeah, at least there's a lot of kind of evidence for that one. It's going to be better most likely. It's sometimes just after the season change, there is so many players just playing in the beginning, and especially I guess in the interlude season like this, where everybody can get Pikachu Libre. I think a lot of people are interested in playing the game, and that's kind of a good thing, I think. The one thing that I would have liked to have for the season though, well, I do like it's like an interlude season is actually kind of cool because a lot of new players can go into Go Battle League without trying. Like they don't need to be like worrying about, okay, now all of a sudden, yeah, basically my elo goes down. It's just kind of disheartening to play then. I do get this fully. But like now you don't have to worry about this. If you lose, you lose. But here's for example where I had the kind of example where I would have liked to have Ice Beam. Against Altaria, I would be able to just one-shot them. And I can't do it like this. And Altaria is a good Pokemon. I already had a video with Altaria and Doublade early on this channel as well. It's going to be linked in the end card. Check it out if you haven't done that already. And of course, if you want to be always up to date towards Pokemon Go PvP, if you're especially new to PvP, this is a channel where I showcase also all the time top teams for any kind of league. And of course, after this interlude season, I assume we're not going to have another interlude season, and we're going to have a normal season next season. And yeah, I have hit Legend in every single season that there was. Like literally, I haven't hit not the highest rank ever in any season. And so I kind of know what I'm doing, I think, at this point. So yeah, definitely feel free to follow if you enjoy the content, especially, of course. As we're going to see here now why Jellicent is so broken this season. I think Jellicent is going to be a Pokemon that's going to win a regional. Jellicent is going to be so nice defensively, but also offensively. Having water and ghost type coverage is amazing. But also in a meta where Pokemon like the Celio got buffed quite significantly, you're going to have a ghost and water type Pokemon that's going to be able to resist all the damage of this Pokemon. And this is where Jellicent just is going to be quite a broken Pokemon. I do think that Jellicent is going to be one of the strongest Pokemon that you can have. It's just so good against a lot of the current meta. Here, again, if we would have just had the Ice Beam, we would have knocked them out straight away. But 2 Weather Balls kind of do the deal as well. But can we still win the battle here? It's going to be close. In comes Cecilio. Never mind, we're going to be able to win this one. And we can move on to one of the worst possible leads for this team. Fortress. Fortress is going to be tough. Like, Fortress is just going to be very tough for us. This Pokemon is going to be quite good against our team. And that's fine. That is absolutely okay. We're going to be able to go for an icy win against the opponent here as well. That is cool. We are going to be able to get the debuff onto them. Here comes Cecilia. I swap out, of course, into my Jellicent, a Pokemon that can take any kind of hit. In comes a Body Slam, double resisted. I don't care. Surf is single resisted, so like it does a tiny bit more damage, but it really doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter, as we're still going to be able to just win this matchup so clearly. We can even get some energy advantage out of this matchup, which is absolutely fantastic. And as you're going to see here now, they're going to be able to still go for another move. It should be just a Body Slam at this point. Like, I highly doubt that they're going to be able to go for anything else. And with that, we are going to have here now a lot of energy on this Pokemon already. We're going to see the Fortress coming in. And it's actually perfect because I really would like to have this Pokemon aligned here. And we have the Shield coming up, which is interesting. And I'm seeing here right now that the Bug Bite actually is kind of adding up quite a bit. And I'm a bit worried now that I'm not going to be able to, knock them out here with this thing. So I swap out. I force them to go for a charge move, which is fine. It's going to be the Santum, the sub onto the Azumarill, and with that, I'm actually in a really good position. The thing is here, Azumarill is a Pokemon where I rather have the debuff on them first, because I know I'm not going to be able to knock them out with any fast or charge moves, like any fast moves here anyway. I need to kind of hit a Leaf Storm in order to knock them out at this point, so like the damage output doesn't really matter. But I kind of want to remove the damage from them in order for me to have a bit of a better time here. And as you guys see, I just keep the energy because I need to keep the Weather Balls for the Fortress in order to knock this Pokemon out, as I know I need 2 Weather Balls in order to knock them. Weather Ball is such a good move now. 60 damage for 35 energy with Stab on top of it is such a difficult move to kind of resist here or take easily. And as you guys see here, the Azumarill is going to be able to go down from that Leaf Storm. Again, if we would have not had the move of Leaf Storm here, we still, I think, would have been fine by just going for the Weather Ball. And so, like, I do not think that we really need Leaf Storm on the Ludicolo. At least if you don't use it as a, like, if you use it as a Sace up here, you don't need it, in my opinion. If you use it in the lead or as a closer you Ludicolo, I do think that Leaf Storm is the best move to go for. That is definitely my opinion towards it, at least. And yeah, we're going to be able to now move on here to the next opponent. We're going to encounter the Florges. We need to keep alignment. We saw that we had a great lead. We saw the Florges swapping in here. And as far as I can see, Ludicolo is guaranteeing to have alignment here with even a shield advantage. And this is kind of perfect because now I'm even going to be able to go for another move here against the opponent with the Weather Balls coming in. But Morpeko energy up is always going to be a bit difficult. Honestly, it is very difficult to, deal with this one. As you can see as well, there's going to be the Aura Wheel coming through. We're going to have now the opponent to 1 Charm range, but they swap out into their Credilli. And now I have 2 Pokemon that are kind of weak to it. But to be fair, they're running Bullet Seed quite often recently, which doesn't make too much sense. So yeah, this is going to be fine. This is going to allow us to get the Icy Wind off. And we can now get the swap out done into our Jellicent. Keeping 2 Pokemon alive is always kind of important. But also with this, we are actually going to be able to just go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to be fine. This is going to be perfectly fine here as well. This is going to allow us to get some nice damage in, and they're not going to be able to knock us out with anything here anytime soon either. So this is going to be fine here as well. As Morpeko comes in, we still have the shield, we can farm them down, and it's going to be a good game. We're going to be able to win here with our Wigglytuff. In honesty, this team is like perfect, basically. Like, we're going to have a lead that's weak to, for example, steel type moves. We have 2 answers in the back. The only real weakness would be if you face like an acid user in the lead. Like a Pokemon that is especially poison type as well. But it's basically impossible that you're going to face something like this. Because, here for example, again, Ice Beam would be cool. yeah, basically it's nearly impossible because there's next to no good poison type Pokemon in the current meta. The only real good one is, I guess, Clodsire, and Clodsire has the weakness to Ludicolo again, as you're going to have a super effective Weather Ball to spam against it. So like it's not a bad save up then for you as well, and Clodsire generally is quite bad against Jellicent. So like we are not in a bad position. Here we are in a bit of a bad position because the opponent just kind of walls us here. Like it's kind of awkward. So yeah, as you're going to see, we are going to be able to just go for the shield. This is going to be the Night Slash coming through, and we can try our best to go for another Surf. Surf coming in. This is going to allow us to go for the charge move, and this is going to be, another charge move coming in here. It's going to be a Surf, getting the shield from them, and I can stop out now and knock them out with a Swift from our Wigglytuff, so we get rid of the Scissor before they can even go for a move. And now they have in the back the one Pokemon I just talked about, the Clodsire. And why this is problematic is what we're gonna see here right now. Basically, what we have, this is just going to be a bit awkward here. They're going to be able to go for the full farm down. And with that, they're going to put themselves into a position where they should be able to go for 2 Earthquakes. And 2 Earthquakes, even with a debuff, sadly are going to be enough from my low health Jellicent here. And I'm just barely missing out on the Surf, which would have knocked them out. But good game to the opponent, very close game. Horrible lead for us, and we still nearly came back there. GramboGH is actually a lead that I don't really want to have here either. And you might think that's a bit silly to swap out of here. You don't need to swap out. Basically, their hardest hitting move is the Seed Bomb. You could even stay in and just try to go for an Icy one first, try to debuff them or get a shield advantage. But I just like to swap out of here, and I got now the Leaf Storm off against the opponent's Celia. And as we will see, the opponent going to go for another move. It's going to be the Body Slam, and I'll just barely survive, but I'm going to be able to get the next charge move. Why do I go straight for the Leaf Storm there? Because the benefit of going straight for the Leaf Storm is that I get a guaranteed advantage. If I go for the Weather Ball, it's either the opponent lets the move go, and I barely do anything, or the opponent shields as well, and then I'm going to be in a better spot. I get that. But basically, I am super good against Celio in the back with the Jellicent walling the entire moveset. And basically what you see as well is it's just going to be a Body Slam. I'm going to end up here with 100 energy with a Celio. I'm going to be able to go for the Shadow Ball to knock them out still. And now I have a ton of energy against whatever they have in the back. I have a shield advantage against whatever they have in the back. It's going to be the Azumarill, a matchup that is generally considered very good for me. I don't really need to tell you that. Like, this matchup is very good for me generally. And I can get some damage off. I can go into my Wigglytuff, and this should be just an Ice Beam. This is not even going to be like the player which would do way more damage. And in comes the GramboGH, and that's fine. I could take a hit still, but I decided to use a shield because now I can go for the Ice Event and just drop the opponent's attack. And now the next one is going to do less damage, and they're not going to be able to knock me out with it at all. And also what we see as well, if they go for another charge move, this is going to take down my switch clock. And so I should be able to go for the swap out here now. And I can go for the full farm down before they even reach another move. And with this is going to be it for the final battle. This team was fantastic. Like, this team was absolutely fantastic, as you saw as well here. It's great synergy. Like, you have the dark type coverage, like basically the dark type answer with the Wigglytuff. You have Ludicolo, it can bait out what you want to bait out. Again, I do think that it's kind of cool to have Ice Beam though on the Ludicolo. Might be an interesting change. But yeah, let me know down below on what you think about this team, and I will see you then. Bye bye.